Watch the working girls go by. Watch the basket people walk around and mumble. Gaze out at the Auburn sky.
Welcome back to SOS. I'm Staff Sergeant Badass. Today we're going to do some situational awareness type stuff here for the s.h.t.f. things I think about. I always think about stuff, and I'm usually, it's like I said before, I'm usually driving around and I'm thinking about stuff, random people, other people's situations I see. From today, I was concerned with like houses and things like that and the way they're built, and I started thinking about how you ever notice how the master bedroom is always in another spot. Now our home is the way ours is built, our kids and our master bedroom and everything's all together in one big little chunk there. And some houses you'll see them, they're all wacky. You've got the master bedroom on one end, you've got the other bedrooms are in another spot, or some are, you might have one that's like downstairs, and then you've got some that, for those of you that live in like two-story houses, because I've been in a few of those where it's got the different rooms at the top, and you've got the one at the bottom. The upstairs versions of that, I think those defending inside a home like that from possible home invasions, I think would be better suited. I start analyzing, homes and the way they're built and the way they're laid out. You've got those places that are kind of like, you remember the movie Commando? You got Arnold Schwarzenegger. How was his home laid out again? He's got that shed that he runs into. That's my shed, by the way. He ran into my shed. That's my house. But yeah, he ran into my shed and took my guns to defend his property, and he took my Suburban too. Yeah, to ride down the hill. Anyway, you start thinking about all that crazy stuff, right? I start thinking about that stuff, and I start thinking about the color chart. You've got the situational awareness color chart. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that. I can't remember what it's called exactly. Somebody out there probably knows what it is, but I think it's like Cooper or something like that, color code chart. I can't remember what it was exactly, but there's different colors for different types of situational awareness. And condition white was the most common one in the United States today, because everyone's just so comfortable these days. They're so comfortable. If I get a little random, I'm sorry, but this is just the way I am. I get pretty random. The thing is, like, condition white's usually the average typical person. They leave their doors unlocked. Anybody can just walk right in and stuff like that. But in a as the economy gets worse, if something happens and the economy starts to suddenly get worse, you're going to see a spike in crime, and you're going to see a spike in home invasions, kidnappings, all that stuff, murders, you name it. All that stuff's going to spike through the roof. And you have to, most people in certain areas, they don't worry too much about crime. They don't have that issue. They don't live in those crazy urban areas and things like that. Us here, I've gotten in topics with people before, in private chat, that, my area is not the safest area. And, we do have some wacky things that take place all over the place. Back in the day, years ago, even when the VCR came out, people were killing each other over a VCR. Imagine what they would do today. And the other thing I kind of want to get on the topic of well, I'm getting distracted again, so let's try to stick on point here. So you have to have a way, when humanity cracks, when it snaps, when humanity, it can snap, it can crack. People will crack. People are going to crack. You have to have a way to be able to protect yourself, protect your family, and you have to heighten your situational awareness. I usually keep, I guess mine on the color code chart would probably be a yellow. I roughly, probably around in there, somewhere around a yellow. But people, it might make some people uncomfortable that my level of awareness is higher than most. I analyze my doors in my house. I analyze my windows. I look for any weak points. I also look for weak points from vehicles. And when it comes to doors, for example, like floor to ceiling type windows, your sliding glass doors, how someone can jimmy a sliding glass door in a heartbeat, and how if you've got windows anywhere near your door, how someone can just pop one of those things and reach right in there with their little mitten and grab your door handle and open it right up. How they're there's standard windows. I mean, anyone can jimmy one of those things open these days. I mean, no one no one really looks at that stuff. And a lot of a lot of people that are preppers that are preparing for anything, they don't there's a lot of them that don't think about that stuff. They just don't. And well, a lot of you do. And a lot of you probably think like me. You start looking at any weak points in your home and looking for anything that can distract. The best distractions, I would say, I'm not going to get too far into like IR cameras and all that crazy stuff today. I'll do that in another video. But today I kind of want to get into this stuff. It's like when eventually at some point people are going to start running out of fuel. You're going to have lights in your home, and if you've got alternative power sources so that you can have lights in your home. And the next thing that you're going to want to do is to make sure that no one can see inside your windows. I'm not saying spray paint your windows or anything weird. You can just put black plastic over your windows and things like that that'll black out everything, and or some aluminum foil, and then make sure you've got some well, and I wouldn't say aluminum foil, I'll take that back, because then people are going to know something's up if you've got aluminum foil in your windows. But yeah, if you've got some double black black curtains and then a black sheet over that, and just black it all out and make sure no one can see any light coming from inside your home. So if you do need a light at night, you know what I mean, that's the next thing, because eventually people are going to start running out of stuff, and they're going to be very desperate in trying to find you. And sophistication, like things are, we were just in a topic the other day, it was Sippy and I, we were talking about technology and how far we've come, and not only that, but things have gotten cheaper, cheaper for criminals have cheaper stuff they can get their hands on and break into things. And now this isn't like a James Bond flick where the guy rolls up to the house and he's got a fake van that looks like a plumber truck, the plumber van. He's got like Al's Plumbing on the side of it, and he's dressed in a plumbing outfit, and he's the what do you call him? He's called a it's not a spotter, it's a point man. That's right, point man. You gotta be the point man, right? So the point man comes to the door, he's all dressed up in some kind of whatever attire. He looks like whatever his company truck's supposed to say. And then, he gets you to answer the door, and then pepper sprays you in the face and takes you in the house and ties you up to a chair and then asks you where the jewelry is. It's not like one of those crazy flicks like you see on TV, like the movie Taken or something, I have a particular set of skills. But yeah, it's nothing like that, nothing too crazy. Man, I've got a wild imagination. Where does this stuff come from? I should probably start writing books. Anyway, so the guy is in the van and he's sitting there, and he's got a distraction set up down the street, so when the cops start rolling up, they all start cruising in, and then he blows some stuff up, flips some switches, and then pyrotechnics go off and distracts everybody. Now, you could use distractions if you've got people trying to break into your home and it's s.h.t.f. scenario. If you've got some rigs set up on your property in different locations, you can distract a bad guy. I did a video a while back. It was called the 3Ds. It was deter, delay, defend. That was my 3Ds. And when I did the 3Ds, there's other people out there that do like the 5Ds, the 4Ds, and stuff like that. They just add a few more things to it. I just did the 3Ds because it's easier. It's just, there was the 3Ds of defense, and then there's four. Four is great, and the fifth one is good. You can start adding a few more of these because there's a few other people out there that have their own versions of it. But there's I did a whole video on that. If you want to look it up, it's on the channel. It's in the s.h.t.f. series, I think. But anyway, distracting people trying to get into your home. Okay, so you can distract people trying to get into your home, and you can also be distracted, right? You can be distracted. And another thing, looking at your property to see if you have any barriers. Do you have any barriers to keep a vehicle? I always wished I had like this gate, this gate, not a wall, just a gate. I just want a gate for my driveway, so every rice burner in town doesn't turn around in my driveway. I think they do it on purpose, just to rev their motor up. And I don't know why they have to pump the gas so many times, but they wake my kids up, and I just wish I had like this gate that just to keep them from pulling into my driveway, or maybe some spike strips, just kind of laid out, so when I spike strip. Just kidding, I'm not gonna go that far into it. You know what I'm talking about. It's not just rice burners. I'm just making a joke. I'm trying to mess with people out there. Oh, what did he say about my car? I don't like Jeeps. Did he say he didn't like Jeeps? I like Jeeps, trust me. All right, I'm getting distracted again. I don't want to get too many people upset. All right, you have to keep in mind that the bad guys have better tools. See how far distracted I got? Bad guys have better tools. They have better Jimmy tools. They have better pry bars. They have better equipment. Stuff they can get their hands on to break into things and do bad things. Right? They've got all this good stuff now. As technology has advanced and things have gotten cheaper. There's a Harbor Freight near you, right? There's always these Harbor Freights everywhere. Some of this stuff you can probably get at just about any little hardware store dirt cheap. But things have gotten cheaper, so they've gotten their hands on better equipment. By better equipment, they've also gotten their hands on better electronics. I'm not saying this is like James Bond and they're going to start using cell phone jammers. They make cell phone jammers. That's right. So they don't cut phone lines anymore, right? They walk up to your house and cut your phone line, and they know everybody's got cell phones. It's probably a thing. Most people don't have house phones. Most people don't. Okay, before you comment. Most people don't have house phones anymore. They have cell phones. They grab their cell phone, call the president, whatever. Thank you. All right. So, cell phone jammers, they kill your signal and make their way in. Let's see. I already talked about diversions, property set. Vehicles are a threat multiplier, okay? Vehicles are used in all kinds of attacks, and everything you can think of, a vehicle is used as a force magnifier. The situations like in different types of attack scenarios and things like that, even Iraq, Afghanistan, all these different places, they use those as part of one of their tools to multiply the amount of damage that they can do, or it's a delivery system. Now, I was going to get into drones and all that stuff today, and how electronics can be utilized. Mini drones, robots. Robotic tank device, like it's a ground vehicle that can travel and you can operate it remotely. I'm not going to get too far into that because I'm probably going to do a whole other video on that stuff. But keep in mind, technology has grown so redonkulously that a guy could make a drone the size of a car, and it would take the Air Force to come in to take it down. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, there's some weird stuff going on out there. You got to keep all that stuff in mind. But a vehicle, any type of vehicle, is a force multiplier, and you need to look at those entry points, like I was saying with the gate for my driveway, just to keep people from just whipping in my driveway all the time. To anything with an access point, someone's going to come to you, right? But if these types of vehicles, I'm thinking like, all right, so let's go into the movies for a minute. Mad Max, you know what I mean? You know, you got the vehicles with the battery rams, you know, ramming your front door or whatever, busting the side of your house off so that they can gain access. I'm not saying anything crazy like that because that's all movie stuff, but possibilities, right? Anything is possible these days. Just saying. Not saying that the movie Taken or anything is real, but it could happen, right? So just keep all that stuff in mind. It's weird, right? It's weird. It's a lot of weird stuff. But just look at the access points. Look at your, you know, your sections around your house. You know, do you have ditches? Ditches to keep people from just plowing through their top speed. Do you have just the basic fences? You know, just some sort of fence. You know, a privacy fence. It doesn't have to be a privacy fence. Privacy fence doesn't really hold up too well from a smack from a vehicle, but chain link fence, something like that, something just to kind of keep a barrier around your home would be a good option to have. But I'm just saying, when humanity cracks and people start freaking out, people go crazy, it could possibly lead to stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying to go start putting barbed wire all over your house today or anything. I'm just telling you, these are just things to make yourself aware of. Situational awareness and your home, and you can start getting into other things like security and stuff. What type of things you want for your security to be. You know, do you have stuff that can work without batteries? Do you have stuff that can work without electricity? And we're going to get into that in the next video that I do. But for today, I just wanted to talk about situational awareness and just make yourself aware that there are a lot of conditioned white people. Did that sound right? That did not sound right. Conditioned white. I'm sorry. Oh man, I was black flagged now. Oh great. I just screwed this video up. Whatever. Just saying. What? It is conditioned white. Okay, it's a color code system. Oh man, you gotta have a sense of humor. I love you guys. You're watching SOS. I'm Star Badass. Have a beautiful, fabulous, fantastic day. Rainbows and unicorns. And Care Bears and rainbows everywhere. Love you guys. God bless.